The 1969 Mercedes-Benz SLX is one of the brand's most mysterious and least discussed projects, developed alongside the famous C111 program. Although today the SLX is often treated as a curiosity, it actually represented a significant step in the search for a new Mercedes-Benz stylistic identity in the late 1960s. At the same time, the company was working on sports prototypes that were intended to become laboratories on wheels, pushing the boundaries of aerodynamics, materials, and drivetrains. The SLX was intended to be one of these alternative visions of this future. The C111 designation encompasses a whole family of revolutionary Mercedes concepts, presented from 1969 onwards and tested both on the track and in the laboratory. The first model, the iconic orange coupe with gull-wing doors and a 3-rotor Wankel engine, was intended to showcase the company's technical prowess to the world. The C111 became an icon, but even before its premiere, a completely different path was being considered for the future sports car. It was from this alternative that the SLX project emerged. From 1958 to 1999, Bruno Sacco, one of the most important stylists of the 20th century, oversaw the appearance of the brand's cars. It was Sacco, along with Giovanni Battistella, who conceived the first vision of the C111 coupe, which never saw the light of day. The design, later known as the SLX, featured a silver exterior, retractable headlights, and a planned central engine. It was created only as a 1:5 scale model for aerodynamics testing and as a full-size wooden model. It lost the internal competition to the more advanced orange C111. Stylistically, the SLX represented a completely different direction from the later mass-produced C111 prototypes. It was dominated by sleek lines, long horizontal lines, and the modernist purity of form typical of Sacco. The design was devoid of ornamentation, intended to convey the image of a technical and rational vehicle, yet remarkably forward-looking. The wide, low nose, and smooth, aerodynamic surfaces suggested that Mercedes was considering a radical departure from the conservative sedans of the 1960s in favor of a bold sports car with its own identity. Meanwhile, the C111 program was developing rapidly and quickly demonstrated Mercedes' commitment to full-fledged prototypes, not just demonstration models. The first generation, powered by a 280 horsepower rotary engine, reached 260 kilometers per hour, 160 miles per hour. The second, unveiled in Geneva, featured a 4-rotor engine with 350 horsepower and a top speed of 300 kilometers per hour, 186 miles per hour. These were figures that no wooden SLX model had yet achieved. It was at this point that the project's fate was sealed. As interest in the rotary engine began to wane, Mercedes transformed the C111 program into a diesel testing ground. Versions ID and 3 set speed records at the Nardo circuit. The 3.0-liter 5-cylinder diesel produced 190 horsepower, and the later variant, 230 horsepower. The most extreme was the C111-4, a streamlined coupe with a 4.5-liter 500 horsepower engine that achieved a documented top speed of 404 kilometers per hour in 1979. The C111 program thus became a symbol of innovation, and the SLX a silent alternative that remained on the margins of history. At that time, the SLX sculpture lay forgotten in Mercedes warehouses. The model, once intended to compete with the C111, never received its mechanical or interior design, remaining merely a stylistic vision. For over 3 decades, no one showed any interest in it. It was only in 2001 that representatives of Mercedes-Benz Classic discovered it. It was transported to Fellbach, where it spent the next 9 years unchanged, never publicly displayed. The first almost premiere of the SLX didn't occur until 2010. The model was displayed at the Mercedes Museum, but housed in a closed glass case away from the main exhibitions. It wasn't until April 2019 that the vehicle was brought out again, this time to the prestigious Techno Classica showroom in Essen, where it was juxtaposed with other C111 prototypes. This was the first event at which the SLX was shown as a full-fledged part of the program's history. Today, the 1969 Mercedes-Benz SLX remains one of the brand's most fascinating alternative paths, although it never received an engine, interior, or a chance for functionality. It showcases Sacco's bold stylistic experimentation and the direction Mercedes might have taken had the C111 program not been adopted. The SLX bridges artistic vision and engineering reality, proof that even unfinished projects can reveal key chapters in a brand's history.